Welcome. Oh, they're doing stuff outside with the place across the way that they're building. The new, I guess they call them side by side. I call it a duplex. So they're working on that, and so anytime any of the guys go walking in front, the dog upstairs starts to bark, and then mine starts to go crazy, and then the mailman came, and yeah, so it's just like one craziness after another. Just saying. But anyways, welcome. Thank you. My name is Mary June Tracy. I am a psychic medium, spiritual love of life coach, an astrologer. I'll do a lot of stuff. Just do a lot of stuff. But what I really love to do is to uplift and help people in these changing times, and how these changing times are, affecting all of us in many different layers, right? So I have a free mini series that I put out. Today was day one, and if you're on my email list, you would have received it. If you are on my Facebook, it is on my Facebook. It's free to download. You can go there, download it and get it, and there you go. And it's good for a week. And so I have another one that'll be coming out for tomorrow. So yeah, and the mini series that I'm doing is on the changing times and how things are changing within our society, how to deal with those changing energies. And it's not to get you scared or anything. It's definitely not to get you scared. But this is to bring forth an awareness more of how you're feeling, how are you reacting. And this is how, if you're panic spending or freezing or avoiding things, like because of how the energies are coming in so rapidly and so fast. It's not like it's coming in um crazily. It's coming in very, very quickly. So this is where I'm sending out these little dailies. It's free for 7 days, just to give people an understanding on the directions of the energies that are coming in, and allowing for you to, if you're feeling emotionally fatigued, so many of us are, to help you, to give you that clarity. It If things feel unstable right now, you're not imagining it, you're not alone. And this is where we are living through such rapid changing times. Things are happening so crazily that sometimes our nervous system has a hard time in keeping up with it, right? And as we are in, especially when we're receiving downloads and changes that are happening, and when people might be feeling like they're sideswiped, and you know it's many different layers. So this is a financial and spiritual navigation. It is to calm, grounded guide for staying human during a disruption. And that is the most important thing. This is not about fear or predictions, um, or telling you what to do with your money. It is about understanding why things feel unsettled, making sense of the bigger picture without being overwhelmed, and staying emotionally and spiritually grounded in these times. So, as I said, I'm going to be sending out email. So you'll get an email, and then it'll be posted up on my Facebook as well. So, and it's an easy download. And yeah, there you go. That's the 411 on that, baby. So let's go on and look at the daily energetic that's coming in for Tuesday. Tuesday, I think we're in prep mode. Everything is preparing. There's a lot of prepping going on, that I'm feeling in the world today. This is where I feel like there's like it's almost like a threshold day. So not the explosion, not the event. It's quiet rearranging of the room before everything shifts. So this is where Venus enters Pisces, and Venus finally moves into Pisces, where she is exalted, meaning she functions at her highest octave. This is a relief after the nitpicky, anxious, perfection obsessed energy we've been sitting in. So now this is where we step back from micromanaging your life. Stop trying to fix. what's already dissolving and soften your grip and widen the lens. So this is not about a Virgo style improvement, definitely not that. This is about beauty, compassion, forgiveness, spiritual meaning, and the dream behind the form. And you might feel like you're feeling a wee bit calmer today than you might have been yesterday. So check that up to being a good thing. Mercury, close to shadow, this is a big picture. So this is where it's like, where am I going? You know, how do I get there day? And if you obsess over timelines, try to define outcomes, demand clarity that doesn't exist, you're going to get a little bit frustrated. But if you ask what no longer fits, notice what can't sustain you, and observe what's quietly falling away and let it go. Then you're working with the energies. So yesterday when I received an email, and it was like, holy shit. And I kind of freaked out at the beginning when I got it. It was a good bad letter. Like it was a good bad email kind of thing. One, yes, I'm getting EI. Cool, getting it. Which I kind of knew I'd be getting, but I got a really quick response and there's no wait time and all of that. I don't even know where this hair goes. But anyways, then I go of how long it is. And the email, it was like 17 weeks. I went into straight panic mode because I've never had EI that short of time. And 17 weeks isn't long. It just sort of sent me into like, what the hell does this mean? Where am I going? So I was in that like timeline, freaking out kind of energy. And I had to sort of backpedal out, and as I backpedaled out, I had to look at and say, hey, it's okay. There's I'm in February. I'm not in May. I'm in February. I'm going to be okay. Everything is coming my way. Things are going to work out the way that they need to work out for my highest good. I'm living my purpose and my passion. I mean, I really had to reground myself and get myself out of that timeline, And this morning after my physio, my very first thing I was thinking as I came out, and I'm like, I don't have to rush right now. I don't have to rush to the other end of town to go to work, because that's what it was. Like after my physio, I'd hop and I would rush home, grab my stuff, grab my lunch, and then hop on the bus and get to work. And it was about an hour or so bus ride if everything connected kind of thing. So this is where you have to really watch your thoughts and really watch how things are aligning, right? Because sometimes it can get you to a point where you could go from A to Z in an instant, like, from 0 to nuclear in an instant. And this is where we have to really look at it. So that's also why I'm doing this series. So after that night, I said, "Oh no, let me go do my recordings." And I did a couple of the recordings for this week for this mini series, and I was like getting back into that zone. So this is, asking what no longer fits. Notice what can't sustain itself. And some things are just they're not there yet. We're not, so it's okay. And Saturn at 29 degrees, it's the end of a 3-year chapter. This is huge. It's subtle. Saturn is at the final degrees of Pisces. And what I find really interesting is that as Saturn and Neptune, the whole dance they did in Pisces, they never met up, not once. Now, with Saturn at 29 degrees, this is where the closing breath of a 3-year karmic cycle. This is where structures that were never meant to last finally lose integrity, right? And I kind of think like, well, yeah, I mean, look at I'm not at this job anymore, right? And this job basically, because I worked for them in for two pop-ups that I started with the Saturn in Pisces and the Saturn energy in Pisces, and then it switched, as Saturn got to the end, it was like, bang, it's done. It's done. Like, that's it. We've just ended a cycle because the cycle is like, is this a cycle I want to go back into? No, I honestly do not want to go back into that cycle and work for them. I'm done. And then somebody said, "Oh, well, you got Starbucks experience. Do you want to go back to Starbucks?" No, I'm done that cycle too. Like I've worked for them for so long that I would prefer to go buy the coffee and sit and drink it than work behind the bar. you know, instead of trying to and remembering, and doing all those drinks and stuff. This is where it's like, okay, this is where things are starting to look at and they're starting to fall away. Where old things that you used to sort of grab onto because that's what it was or that's what you knew into something bigger. Right now I have a sale on if you for 30 minutes if you want a Valentine's love reading. And great, if somebody gets it, hurrah. If somebody doesn't, hurrah. It's like my energy is more in doing the workbooks and more in doing these little mini series and popping up these little mini series um, because I find they're fun and they're creative. And um, I just get to do it and put it out there. Like being that more of a creative influencer, I guess you will call it, than anything else. So even with these, I'm even looking at putting them up on my Facebook and having them as a little mini series on my Facebook. So and doing that so that people can access them through my Facebook. Woohoo. So there's so many and this is just like little things I want to put out there more so people can not only find me, so they can work with me more and whoever aligns, whoever doesn't, right? And that is perfectly okay. So today with this energy and where things feel like they're slipping through your hands, old patterns are harder to ignore, coping mechanisms don't work like they used to. So this is a completion, it's not a punishment. Like this is a completion of things. And this is where we have to look at like what is no longer staying afloat in your life, and honestly look at those things that aren't staying afloat, not what you want to save, right? I mean, there's a lot of things that we may want to save. This is not about that. This is like what simply cannot be carried forward. And with that, you have that Mars and Saturn tension. Well, yeah, it happens. Emotional pressure without clear direction. Mars is in a stressed relationship with Saturn, while Jupiter is still retrograde. And this can feel emotionally heavy, especially if you try to push forward too hard, you react instead of observing, or you spiral into a emotional storytelling. The medicine here is the Aquarian. It's very Aquarian. Detach without disconnecting, right? And feel the discomfort. Don't be the drama queen. Don't personalize it, right? Just notice it. This isn't about, changing it around and being all about me, and oh my God, I feel so blah, blah, blah. No, this isn't it. This is, where we have to, just step into it. Don't dramatize it, and that's what I did yesterday. I stepped into it. I stepped into, yeah, okay. I had to look at, okay, what are ways to calm me down? Because I went that I'm in May and I have nothing, right? I just went from boop over and I just like, okay, where am I feeling that in my body? Where's that anxiety? What is that fear? And naming the fear, naming it like, what is it? And then just taking that time and then, what are the three things I can see right now? Where am I feeling it in my body? And these are steps that you need to really access and really do on a regular basis because you might find a lot of things just start popping up right now. So the moon is active and it's touching Mercury, the nodes, and Pluto. So there's insight, awareness, and future oriented thinking. So But this is not a day for conclusions. This is more of awareness without answers, insight without instructions, space opening without a blueprint. And that's intentional. So notice what's falling apart. Let go without needing replacement. Stay conscious of emotional patterns, holding curiosity instead of certainty, and resting before the intensity ramps up. Because, yes, you're right. The rest of the week gets much more intense. And Tuesday's one of those last gentler integration days before things really start to accelerate again. So, for today, I don't need to define the future. I only need to release what can't come with me. Okay. So I don't need to define the future. I only need to release what can't come with me. Wow. There you go. Have a blessed one. And thanks for joining me. And may the Lord and Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you and all you say and all you be and all you do. The sun is coming in and it feels glorious. So if you are able to get some sunshine and step into that beautiful sunshine, do so. It is wonderful. Have a blessed one.